What's up, everyone? Lucky Top Sports here. Naveen with you guys. Man, we really shat the bed again. Uh, 4-4 now in the SEC. Not really the types of performances we want to be stringing together. Um, Kind of gross, to be honest, how we lost this one. Uh, Poor shooting, something that's kind of following us a long way. Tennessee puts up 73, Wildcats 78. Basically, their entire starting lineup had double digits, something I could never say for Tennessee. 12 points for Almanor, 10 points for Amari Williams, 14 for Owe, 17 for Robinson, and a sneaky 18 for Brea. Um, yeah, not the best performance for sure. Really interested in seeing some of these reactions coming in. Although we scored 40 points in the second half, it didn't seem like it. Uh, Kentucky really dominated us. We got 10 people with us right now. Yeah, really, really curious to see what you guys think about the game. What I noticed is he had some better offensive performances by Milicic. Obviously, Ziegler went down in the first half, kind of fought heroically to come back in the second. Chaz with 15 points, Ziegler with 13, Milicic with 19. We kind of got we won the rebounding battle. Decent performances by Dubar and Gainey. Not really much from Cade Phillips or Bishop Boswell this game. I think it was a little bit more top heavy for Kentucky, with really Robinson, Brea, and Owe being the standouts. So interesting stuff that we see from these guys for sure. So, um, yep, Wildcats 78, Tennessee 73. Hey, Josh,
What's up, man? How we doing?
doing well. I wanted to start off with this. Where's the shooting?
Bro. The shooting, man, it's not there, man. I'm kind of at a loss for words. That was probably one of the worst all-time shooting performances I've seen with Rick Barnes coached teams at Tennessee so far. I mean, Kai Ziegler, I think. I mean, he was trying to gut it out, man. Looked like he blew out his knee there right before halftime. I guess he was, touched by an angel there in the tunnel and then came back out. Played a pretty solid game. On the defensive end, still, gritty performance. But dang, man, he's like 10% from three. At one point, I was like, why are we still letting him shoot, man? Like, and then you got Gainey, and he's been big for us at times this year, but man, not tonight.
Some bonehead plays, man.
Yeah, a lot, he dribbles it off his foot out of bounds there. I mean, just then airballs it, like not even close there to end the game. Man, it was complete disaster. So looks like Andrew's trying to come on. We'll get him on here in a second. Guys, if you're out there, this is our rapid reaction show. Obviously, Tennessee falling to Kentucky tonight at Thompson Bowling Arena, dropping two big games back to back. I'll be honest with you, man. I think we left a lot down in Auburn, Alabama, man. I really do. And I think it's going to be a while before we are able to kind of reset and rebound from that loss. Took a lot out of us. I think that was evident tonight. But man, Igor had a hell of a night tonight. I'll give credit where credit's due. He didn't have a great performance, I'd argue, down in Auburn on the Plains, but tonight he came ready to play. He was probably our most effective player all night when you look at it holistically. From he's there getting his rebounds. The only one really shooting a three and making them tonight. Chaz, man, where's he gone? And he had some good transition threes there at the end of the game, but to kind of keep us in it. But that was after like our third offensive rebound, on that possession. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's not good, for sure. We can't just keep stringing these together, man. I feel like we're 500 in the conference. We were talking about those 10 teams or whatever, 9 or 10 teams that are going to make the SEC or more. But man, I don't want to be too dramatic, but if we keep stringing losses together, we're gonna play our hands into the committee, right? We're gonna be in their hands and not really sealing our own destiny for seeding and things like that in the tournament. Not the best, not good to see, and back-to-back games lost.
Man, I can really tell. I don't know where this depression is hitting you at, Naveen. I don't know if it's watching us just be abysmal the last 2 games, or I know you're not really paying attention. You're not looking at the screen right now. You look like you're checking your phone, looking at that North Carolina Pitt game. 2 of the worst teams in the ACC in a big matchup tonight to see who'll get like 11 seed in the tournament.
We're headed straight for them, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching some of the memes on X tonight. Some of them have been really harsh. I mean, I saw some 9/11 jokes, which are always in bad taste. When it comes to memes and stuff, but especially with Zakai Ziegler being from New York, I saw one Tennessee guy posted. If Zakai Ziegler was a pilot on 9/11, the World Trade Centers would still be there. I was like, damn, like that is next level, just abhorrent to post. But the boo birds were coming out. You saw people leaving early. Tennessee fans, man, they're showing their ugly side tonight. It's always bad when we lose to Kentucky, but again, I think to your point, we're stringing together a lot of duds. And I mean, this was the easiest scout of all scouts. I mean, Andrew, you've watched Kentucky play this year. What do you have to do to beat Kentucky? You're on mute. You're on mute, buddy. He's going to say defend the 3. I know that's what he's going to say. All right, we're having some technical difficulties. Still not able to hear him. But yeah, I mean, the easiest scout in the world, right? Naveen, guard the 3, and that's the key to success to beating Kentucky.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate, but no matter how you guard a team, if you miss 10 threes and keep shooting them like Zakai Ziegler did, it's just not gonna it's not gonna work for you. Also, Amari Robinson, 15 rebounds.
I mean, he owned our bigs. Felix Akpar got into foul trouble in the game, and you already know what happened.
Yeah, I think we let up on the defensive intensity the first half of the second half. That was pretty evident, and then they called that timeout where Meshack kind of got ripped into the guys, and from that point on, a lot better defense. I will say that, but just too little, too late. We got so many offensive rebounds the last 2 minutes until Chaz Lanier hit that 3 finally to kind of pull us to within 1. But after that, nothing really. Very, very disappointing kind of showing. And yeah,
Kyle G highlighting Kyle G, obviously the big Blue Nation Wildcat fan that is a friend of the show. He was an enemy tonight on the basketball floor, but friend of the show. Love a good South Carolina troll. Shout out to Chase on that one. But hats off to Kyle G. We could give him this victory lap if we want to. I know that I would if we had beat them, I'd want to be hanging on the rim. But let's talk about hanging on the rim for a second. How did that turn into a foul on Felix, or not Felix, but on Igor Milicic when the Kentucky player dunked it and then just fell off the rim by himself? I don't understand how that was a foul on us. A lot of questionable calls, and I think to your point about the defensive intensity, I think that it went down when the whistle started going against us a little bit in the second half. Kentucky was on the wrong side of the whistle in the first half. I mean, I think they had 8 fouls, I think, within the first like 9 minutes of that first half. Then it's kind of flipped, on the other side against Tennessee. So I feel like they were trying to make it, fair, do some makeup calls and try to get the team fouls closer to even. And when they did that, I mean, Kentucky was a double bonus in the second half, extremely early. So, just
I will say, Josh, last game was a blame the ref game. Today was not a blame the ref game.
No. That's what I'm saying. I think they evened it out. It just to kind of talk about why they were lacking defensive intensity, I think, in the second half is because, I mean, they had that whistle going against them pretty hard.
Andy, do you have any more thoughts?
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we got you.
All right. Sorry about that. I just gotta say, like, I think one of you guys had the banner down, which was very appropriate where I was shooting, and generally speaking, I'm usually a proponent of star players, not sort of shine from their mistakes. I encourage them to shoot. You can't psych yourself out, but I do think when a team tries to shoot attempt 45 3-pointers, there has to be some kind of a coaching, like hey guys, like we're only down by 2. Can we go for the drives here? Like you're not making the threes, and just continuing to shoot isn't the solution. We saw that in the NBA a few years ago when Houston Rockets and James Harden infamously what was it, missed like 27 straight 3-pointers and ended up losing to the Golden State Warriors. I don't know what Tennessee's identity is anymore, honestly. I feel like
I don't think they know.
Right. Like it's, and one thing for sure is that it's not a 3-point shooting team. I don't ever remember Tennessee just being like a Golden State Warriors type, drilling the threes. Maybe when we had Grant Williams, or maybe when we had Chris Lofton, but even back then it was just like a one guy shooting it. Like it wasn't like a team effort. And it's very disappointing to see that we attempted almost double the amount of 3-pointers, yet made less than the opponent. 12 of 24, 11 of 45. Like, holy shit, we gotta stop that. Like,
Andy, at some point,
coaching?
when you miss your 8th 3,
Well,
when you
here's the
miss your
thing.
8th or 9th 3 as a player, are you like, okay, I'm gonna
Here's
get
the thing,
12?
Rick Barnes. I mean, I think he's not the problem. I mean, he's drawn up some pretty good play. I mean, even to that last set. I mean, they're calling a set. He didn't call a timeout. I think he kind of went against what he did against Auburn, where he called the timeout, tried to draw something up out of the timeout, get a shot with Zakai. It didn't go down, so he let him play through it. Obviously, that set call was not meant for Gainey to pull up and just smoke an air ball. And then just went straight out of bounds, and then you got to foul Kentucky, and then they hit their 2 free throws, ball game, right? So, you'd like to see either Chaz Lanier, I'd argue, or Milicic, who probably had a career high tonight. I think he had 19 or something like that. It was close to 20 the last time I checked.
It's just frustrating. I would say maybe you're right, but it's becoming a pattern whenever they lose these types of games in conference as well as in March, and I would think like, okay, we've seen this loss. Like it's no different than losing to Vanderbilt, losing to Florida, losing to
Well,
teams
I don't know
like
that the Florida
Oregon
loss,
State.
the Florida
losing
loss was an
to,
absolute baby seal clubbing.
Sure, but it all
Chris.
comes down to the same type of execution of trying shit that's not working and sticking to it. Like there's no in-game adjustment, right? And I would actually say like, yeah, I would like to see more of, hey, let's change it up. Like I'm not saying like everybody should just stop shooting altogether and everybody just pass the ball around for 25 seconds, until like we get a layup, but if the three balls are not falling, can we try to get to the rim, maybe drill some free throws, maybe try some mid-range, like something to get the confidence going, right? And I feel like it's always the same. There's no mid-game adjustment, and as great of a coach as Barnes is, it's like a label that follows, just like Halpole not being able to win a road game. For Barnes, it's not being able to do any kind of mid-game adjustment.
I don't support Naveen's message. Even our stream is not supporting it. I think it's too early to hit the FRB button right now. I mean, we were the number one team in the nation for the majority of the year so far. So
trending down, Josh. Trending down.
But I don't know, man. You drop that game to Vanderbilt. I think we've lost 4 of our last 7 games.
Yep.
Yeah. So
we're 500 in the SEC, dude. Average.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, 4-4 now?
I think we gotta be fair. When we've been saying, kind of like what we've been saying about Miami during the football season, right? Like, only reason you're undefeated is because you played soft schedule. You're a fraud team. I think it's time that we own up to it. We were a fraud. We shouldn't deserve the number one team by no means. And like, I don't think we can sit here and say, oh, we were number one team for, for the majority of the season. I think it was undeserved. Let's face it. This team is not making Sweet 16 at this rate. It looks just like one of those teams that bounced out of the day 2. Unfortunately,
okay.
I don't mean to say it in a fire Rick Barnes way,
Andrew
but
is absolutely ringing the alarm tonight. Scorched earth. We're not making.
Andy, I've missed you, dude. I've had to been too positive. And,
we've been pumping a lot of sunshine.
Yeah,
Naveen's ready to jump off the Gay Street Bridge in Knoxville, and Andy's ready to burn it down. Like are we even going to make it out of the first weekend?
I would love to see that, but
it's not even February yet, fellas.
Well, history's not been too kind to us whenever we see teams performing like this, right? So, when the team's like ceiling is Elite 8, I have my doubts when we can't get to, way this team's playing, it's not making Sweet 16. I'm sorry. I mean, I would love to see something change. I would love to see some more leadership. I would love to see some more adjustments, coaches like owning up. I don't know. Something needs to change. Like Naveen said, we've been just taking L's ever since the new year. Ever since the new year, conference play began, and it's just been, pretty embarrassing all the way through. I think the only convincing win we really had
Arkansas. But Arkansas's trash, and
right, like they're proving that they didn't deserve to be ranked 20 something. So I would almost argue like Georgia might have been the
but Georgia's trending down too.
Well, proving my point.
I don't, Josh. Playing like how we've been playing, are we going to beat Florida?
I really doubt it. I really doubt it.
So we talked about going 2-1. We're
0-2.
We
probably going to go 0-3.
Yeah,
it's not looking good. It's really not looking. I know they're doing the Checker Thompson bowling.
Oh my gosh!
Saturday night against the Gators. But man,
anybody from the crowd can shoot a 3. That would be nice.
Well, here's the thing too. Like our crowd is terrible this year, man. I'm not here to dunk on Tennessee fans, but that was a common theme amongst anybody that was. I don't know if they were at the game, tweeting in or whatever. But even from the television, man, it just seemed like there were moments where it kind of got loud, but like there was no sustained loudness. Like I'll tell you, when we went to Illinois, when we played up there, that place was absolutely batshit crazy. Like they were out of their mind. And they had a very intimidating home court advantage. I just think there's a lot of wine and cheese crowd that goes to Tennessee games right now, man. And it's just
Josh, let me ask you a question. Have you been to the game this year?
I've not been to a game this year.
That's a problem, dude. I think we need to change the juju because they need a leader in the crowd to set the tone, and you are that leader.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, any of the Tennessee fans that are watching here tonight can feel free to message me, on the comments or whatever. But man, like, one, it's a 7-hour drive for me from North Carolina to Knoxville, and two, when I look at tickets, I mean, Tennessee, like, it doesn't matter. Tennessee football, basketball, baseball, inflation's through the roof. The talent fee. I don't know, man. It's just they're all sold out, and then you're buying them on the secondary market.
Yeah, you're looking at like a $2,000 trip per person.
Yeah,
I think
especially
when you're not getting that.
We're not guaranteed a fun time.
Yeah, you're not getting the return out of it. If we're gonna smack these teams, fine, it's fun, it's good to go. But
yeah,
like, as you said for football, like a couple seasons in a row now, like I don't want to keep going. I don't want to keep going to these games and lose. So.
Yeah, I mean, you both can vouch for me on this. Like, I have no problem spending the money and making the trip. I mean, me and Andrew, we went to
well,
we don't mind.
But you're a certified ESPN certified super fan, right?
We got a Vol for Lifer in here commenting tonight. Kayla, former student at Tennessee and an alum, she says it's the student section that makes the noise. Need more students and less ticketed seats. All right, 100%. Danny White, athletic director, you got it from one of your own VFLs. She's letting you know.
But then 100%, but it also got a student section, 30-something-year-olds, 50-something-year-olds. At the end of the day, if the execution isn't there, you're not gonna be able to get hyped, right? Like, you can only see so many bricks before the brick by brick PTSD kind of hits you, and it's just like, oh my god, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Are we going full Butch Jones here? We're just building this arena brick by brick, like. How many bricks can I tolerate, right? Like, attack the basket and like do some like smart basketball plays. Down by 5, down by 7.
It was so bad, man.
Clank. And I saw one of the comments earlier, like, if Tennessee had an identity, we and he's right. I think it was the same person, Kyle, who, like, we had a lot of defensive turnovers. But what are we doing after the turnovers? We're just jacking up a three instead of trying to take some points. Like, points of turnover is a stat, and they track that for a reason. And we've just not been able to do anything because after every turnover, they're just so busy running to the 3-point line and checking up a three, right? So,
well, Kentucky was actually really good at it. I think they were like 50% from three. I mean, they were just unconscious out there, just no matter how good the defensive play was for Tennessee. And there was a lot of contested threes that just absolutely were pure and just dropped for Kentucky. That's not going to happen night in and night out. I think you caught Kentucky on a very, very hot night of shooting. I'm not trying to excuse, Tennessee's offensive performance. We all can see that was really bad. But to Kyle's point, I mean, we forced turnovers. We had 13-5. We're winning that battle there. I think the defense was there. I mean, it's just, what can you do? You got a hand in the guy's face, and he is unfazed, completely unbothered by your presence, and just bears it in your eye.
Seems like a trend, though, right? Which is a problem.
Did you guys notice that they were just bigger than us? Like, did that bother you at all?
They have a lot of length. They have a lot of length. Their guards
are 6'6". I'm not going to shit on Zakai, but even the other guards, 6'1", 6'2". Like, the contest doesn't really mean much when you have the 5-inch height advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I wanted to respond to the second half of Kyle's comment and also Kayla's comment. he's saying it's a gritty game. We gave them a lot of choices. We got a lot of offensive rebounds in the later parts of this game. We just couldn't hit anything. But the scary part is the second part. Butler and Carr out. Those are two of their better players, and we can't even beat them with them out. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we had Zakai Ziegler out for a portion of the game. But yeah, two of their better players were out, still lost. Kayla said student section.
Yeah, we read that one. Yep.
And less ticketed seats. What I would say here is when you're a student and you know the ticket is going for $500 and you're broke, you can get the ticket and flip it, right? So I think that kind of eats into things too, right? It's a very expensive, very high dollar activity, and now pretty much only people with money can go see the game. People with money don't really want to invest time.
They don't show their ass like they should.
Yeah, dude, they don't really
they act like they got sense, man. They're not redneck enough to get in there and make it a hostile environment, man.
Yeah, right. So
too mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Too cool. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's very mainstream now, and it's not. Almost feel like the fans are experiencing some sort of NIL kind of effect too, right? Like we see a lot of like maybe more fair weather fans, less hardcore people that will go to the game even if they're owing whatever, right? It's less commitment, more money type of thing. Andy, what do we need to do to beat Florida? Last time we played Florida, we scored 43 points. I think that was the worst basketball game I've seen in like 5 years.
Give them all food. Give them all food poisoning.
What do we need to do, Andy?
We need to see some aggressiveness. I mean, today, like you said, we got a lot of offensive rebounds in the second half, but those weren't really like a true offensive rebounds, in my opinion. Those are kind of like a Russell Westbrook fake triple double rebounds after a long three that clanks off the rim. Very, very easy for anyone to grab. Like, it wasn't a true like getting into the restricted area in the paint and grabbing like a true second chance opportunities. It was just like a offensive rebound, kick it back out to the perimeter and clank again. And when we lost to Florida, right, we lost by 30 points, held under 50 points, and a lot of embarrassing, like I think we lost the rebounding by close to like 20 rebounds, if I'm remembering that right. So it just need to get aggressive, need to be able to. I mean, I'm pretty sure we shot like dog shit that game too, but shooting is just something that you can't just like work on it overnight, right? Like, you don't just become a great 3-point shooting player or a 3-point shooting team, and that's okay. And I'm not saying we should completely abandon it, but there needs to be some smart offensive like sets, whether that be pick and rolls, I don't know, but get more to the rim. Also, try to get a little bit more, rebounding positions, boxing out. Today, I feel like it's one of those games where if you just look at the offensive rebounding number and we like out rebounded Kentucky in that category, it doesn't make sense. But when you watch the game, it does. It's all the guards grabbing, long jumping out rebounds off the clanking threes. And I would like to see more like meaningful rebounds. Not all stats are the same, in my opinion. And there's a reason why people after these like big statistical accomplishments, there are people who will be saying, "Oh, you're stat padding," and there's a reason for it. So I think Florida, if we play like this, we're not gonna beat Florida even at our home. I think that was like the one thing that we had going, was that Tennessee at home has been at least sort of holding on, right? Like, okay, we lost to Florida, we went to Vandy, we went to Auburn. tough places to play, right? When you look back at it now, Florida, in the top 5, Auburn, number 1 team, Vandy, looking back, they're ranked now. So like
in the same state.
yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
we're getting some comments on the Facebook feed
yeah. So
from Joe Blackburn.
I will say, Andy, home used to be a safe space, and it's now no longer safe. That's one thing. Second thing is I miss Dalton Connect because he also had a mid-range game. None of our players have one.
mhm.
Absolutely zero. So no foul line jumpers. Like obviously you can say, okay, this is analytics says mid range is not what you're supposed to do, but mid range is what you're supposed to do when you miss.
Yeah, you got
10 plus threes.
It's like knowing your range, man. You got to move it back in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Beyond the Arc was not our friend tonight. You kind of gotta.
It never is, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I know. Just pile it on, dude. Just cherry on top, man. That I mean, you summed it up. That is a problem. Since Dalton Connect left last year, we've been absolutely abysmal. And I would say, honestly, he's kind of our outlier.
Yeah, he's the only one, really.
He's like our outlier of the last, Barnes has been here 10 years now, 2015. So 10 years. Connect's probably our outlier as far as like need a 3, get a 3.
Because even like Grant Williams, like he wasn't that great of a 3-point shooter.
He didn't take 15 of them, dude.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's the difference. It's
like the only 3-point shooter that I can really truly recall is just Chris Lofton, and that is like too long ago, right? So maybe that's just like the type of player that Barnes recruits, which makes sense, right? Like he likes these gritty, defensive oriented players first, but then our identity needs to match that. We can't not go in. We cannot go in there pretending we're like great 3-point shooting team, and if you look at most of our losses over the last 5-6 years, it's usually 80% of the time it's usually because we lost that identity of the physicalness and the grit, and we're just trying to be a jump shooting team, settling for it.
Joe Blackburn writes in, Chris Lofton wanted to be a Gator, but he couldn't make our team. Ultimate troll job. Expect nothing less from Joe. He's on our Facebook feed.
What years was Chris Lofton?
He was there during the back-to-back Gators title runs. It was like what? It was like 05 to 08 or something like that. I think
he's probably right, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean that's probably why his Tennessee team would go crazy in Florida, right?
Oh man, I don't even know who is this guy.
Alapa, welcome Alapa.
89.
You haven't commented before, but welcome. You deserve to shit on us today because
they're hanging on the rim, falling off.
So what can we take away is that we need. Number one thing is we can never let up on defense. I think that when we get lazy is when we get into scoring droughts, and we don't have the players to get out of scoring droughts because we don't have the 3-point shooting. So the only thing we have is the ability to make it difficult to score, and we did get back into it in this last 7 minutes of the game. Other than that, in the second quarter, like the lead got up to 12 or 13. It should never get up to 12 or 13 because we're not built.
We're not built to come back from that.
We can't come back from 12 in the second half. Like maybe in the first half. Sure.
And that's on the coaching, in my opinion. Like you gotta break the flow. Like save all those timeouts for what? This is not the NBA. Like it's not the same as like having the timeout and you automatically advance the ball, in like a down 3 situation with like less than 5 seconds to go, right? In the NBA, like every timeout matters that much because you can run a play out of it. College, you're still coming out from all the way from here. It doesn't have the same amount of impact. Like it's better to cut these, like you guys said, it's better to cut these, 10-0 runs when it's happening. Like I know Phil Jackson had that philosophy of like letting the guys figure it out in the court. These guys are not Kobe and Shaq. They don't know. They can't figure it out. They're not professionals. And all we're doing is just tiring them out and putting them on a hole that we can't climb out of. So it is again in the in-game coaching adjustment that I would like to see more from. And I'm not saying like Barnes is a bad coach. He's a great coach. He's basically our version of like James Franklin in basketball, right? Like he wins just enough.
He is.
Why?
Actually, James Franklin did a little bit better than Rick Barnes. And
Right.
Andy, I'm glad you brought this up because he is almost exactly like James Franklin.
I mean, he really is, right? He beats who he's supposed to beat. He loses to better teams, and he underperforms in the postseason. Only reason James Franklin made it that far this year is because of the format change. But you could argue James Franklin's like ceiling before this year was like an Elite Eight, which is like where Barnes is. So,
hey, real talk. We got a request out here from Joe. He said, "Real talk. Rank your top 5 SEC teams." Andy, we'll start with you.
Top 5 SEC teams now?
Yeah.
I guess I would go probably Auburn, obviously, and then Alabama. Auburn, Alabama. I would probably go Florida, and then Kentucky, A&M, Tennessee, probably. Like I think Tennessee deserves to fall down because they really like every time they played like a legitimate team or like a ranked team. They've fallen out, so that's how I would go. I guess I would go Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Kentucky, A&M, Tennessee, then maybe like Mississippi State.
You're giving the whole top 10.
I mean that's like that's top 6.
Yeah,
So.
No, I got you. Naveen, who's your top 5?
I think it's almost exactly the same for me, but I'm gonna flip Florida and Bama.
Okay.
I think I've seen a lot of Bama games.
Mark Sears looking sus.
Yeah, it's just not very consistent. When they put up 100, like nobody can beat them, Bama. But like a lot of the time, they get into holes that are pretty bad.
Yeah,
but they do have the shooting to get out of them. Whereas Florida is a little bit more dominant consistently. Other than that game versus South Carolina, willing to throw that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're about the 5 or 6 best SEC team. Josh?
I'm going to say Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee. That's my top 5.
Okay.
And we're fringe to falling out really close. I think Saturday is going to be really, really crucial for us. So where do you see Saturday going, Andrew? Let me get your best bet for Saturday. We'll kind of talk the recap of the conference championship games in the NFL. We didn't get a chance to talk about that yet, but what are your thoughts? Gators, Vols, Saturday, prime time.
Sorry, I was on mute. Probably the under.
Under. Okay. I think Gators win by 8 points.
Okay. Joe has said that he will come on the show if we win, so we control him. And Josh Joseph also commented and said that we should have our women's. Oh no, he said the women's Gators squad against Tennessee's men's squad would be a more competitive matchup. So
Ouch.
a lot of Gator smack talk in the comments, guys. They're feeling pretty confident. I'm going to take Tennessee. I'm going to take Tennessee in the game. I haven't seen Tennessee drop 3 in a row in conference play under Rick Barnes. I just think that, until it happens, I'm not going to believe that it's possible, you know? So
New trends are made every day, Josh.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I make that bold prediction, but I also have my cup on. So
Yeah,
I know that the swift kick is coming. So I won't be shocked if we drop it, but I want to be optimistic since we've been so melancholy and kind of down, throughout this show. I want to try to pump some sunshine in somewhere, man. Joe Blackburn, loser pick. Listen to your voice.
Yeah, it feels like walking into a
like I said, I'm keeping
table
it
full
on.
of Asian people all going like a bank, and then Josh just sits down, goes, "I've not seen it 3 in a row,
player, bro."
Yeah, I think specifically for Florida, their strength is, I guess, their guard play, and we don't have
us. Their bigs owned us, man.
Yeah, what is it, Condon?
Yeah, I think they had like 40 points in the paint against us. 40 points in paint.
Right. So I think that we're just not meant to match up with Florida.
Yeah, it's a bad matchup.
We need to be. I wish we could get like a Big 10 team or a Big 12 team in there somewhere in our schedule, but we're just not fucking playing hot at all.
Oh, no, I don't think we can talk shit about Big Ten anymore after the football postseason, after how that went. So, who knows? Like right now, didn't Ohio State beat like Kentucky by a bunch?
I think so, man. I've been in a dark spot since the Ohio State football game. I don't even want to revisit that. So I don't even want to hear their name right now.
They beat Kentucky in basketball this year.
I think they did. I don't think
and they're not very good right now, Andy. I'll be honest with you.
Rutgers, I don't know. I've been paying attention to Rutgers just because of the prospects that you mentioned. I thought, like 5-star recruit, and they've been pretty bad. So I'm gonna stop that New Jersey homerism right now and say Rutgers, probably not, but other like a legitimate big big schools, power. I mean, like sure, Rutgers is up, power 5, whatever, Big 10 school too, but in the upper echelon of Big 10, I'm not confident. Like for example, if we played Illinois again, that we would beat them handily. Like that's how far it's fallen.
I think we're going to be in the 20s at the end of this week.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to lose. We lost today.
Mm-hmm.
Likely lose to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be in the low 20s.
And it's the back-to-back home likely back-to-back home loss that's going to drop us a lot.
So, the Florida fans that are in our chat right now are letting us know that their 7-foot center is back finally, Micah Hanlugton, or however you say his name. So Condon will ride the bench apparently. So,
so the new 7-foot guy is gonna look like Colin Castleton.
Probably
just destroy the rebounding.
All right. We're not giving into these chumps. Like Kyle said, we're gonna pack the house that Pat built, baby.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look,
you can go for as low as $61.
If we're gonna talk shit, and I think this might be because we got to beat them in football this year. After OT, maybe it's the,
Okay, so Will Pelfrey, Joe Blackburn. I know that Joe's commenting on my Facebook feed. If he gets on YouTube, it'd be a lot easier for me to show his, but Will is contradictory.
So won't show the comments.
It won't show. It's just from YouTube and X because StreamYard. Fix yourself, StreamYard. We love you, but fix yourself. Will Pelfrey saying no. Appreciate Will for chiming in. Appreciate you, bud. I don't know if you're a Gator, but you probably are. I mean, the blood's in the water. I'd be coming in where it's chummed up. Ready to tee off on Tennessee fans. So, it doesn't look good for us Saturday. So, we can put a bow on that. Let's talk about the NFC and AFC results real quick before we call it a night. what was your takeaways from Philly doing the JOB to the Commanders?
Yeah, so for me, I think they play NFL the reverse of every other team. They have explosive run plays and they just do casual passing. It's pretty interesting to see. I'm a Vikings fan, and it kind of reminds me of how we played with Adrian Peterson when he was good. I'm not saying the Vikings were ever as good as the Eagles, but we set up the run. We used the pass to set up the
set up the run. Yeah.
right, and then we had a lot of advanced, like, kind of blocking schemes going on.
Well, when you got Smitty and AJ Brown, that's pretty easy to do, though.
Right, it's like they got all stars at every position, Josh. Their defense
except quarterback.
is pretty good.
Except quarterback.
But
Jalen's good. He's I don't know if he's a superstar, but he's good enough. He's better than Will Levis, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's like when he had I guess Najee Harris or whoever he had before.
All those Alabama, like a treasure trove of 5 stars. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very similar to Alabama for him. He just doesn't have to lose the game. I just thought that they were overmatched versus Commanders. Commanders kind of outplayed their coverage a lot. I know we picked them on this show, but I had a bad feeling once every single person we asked said Commanders. Yeah. I was like,
you knew Vegas was going to do the Vegas thing. And I'll tell you, man, not for nothing, the Commanders, it was a competitive game until they started all that chippy stuff, and then the Eagles just proceeded to just fold them in half and drop 55 on them.
Right. If the Eagles don't turn it over, it's almost impossible.
Joe, it's better.
It's almost impossible to beat them. Chiefs, Josh, I mean, very questionable calls there, but that going in, you can't be in a situation to lose the game to the refs if you're playing the Chiefs. You got to assume that things are like 65-35 going to go against you.
Let's talk about that spot, man. Andrew.
I thought the first let Andrew go, but I thought the first play, the third down, was actually a first down. And then he got it again.
Yeah. And so he got the first down twice and and it resulted in a turnover on downs. Yeah. That's on brand for NFL and Chiefs.
I mean, I agree with you. There is no getting it the second time because he already got there the first time. So, but I agree with you, Naveen. I'm always sort of a proponent of saying, if you don't want to get fucked by the reps, don't let it go to that spot, right? What is your defense doing? And it's not like, so what? Josh Allen's team now have lost 4 times to Chiefs in the postseason. It's not like those games were like a grind fest 9-6 every time. It's been like 31-28, and there was that one that went to OT, right? With a bunch of back and forth touchdowns in the last 2 minutes, which was like the 2021 version of it. Last year or the year before, losing at home. And then this year, again, losing at Kansas City. Hey, like if you really want to beat them, make sure you shut them down, right? Like leave no doubt, kind of like the Eagles Commanders. And if you really can't beat them, again, like that's where the proven champs are gonna get the call. Like Naveen said, you should always assume things go like 70-30. Just leave no doubt on the field. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And
yeah. Early money's on the Chiefs. But I don't know, man. I think I like Philly against the Chiefs. I don't know if I like Philly against the Chiefs in the NFL. That's where it gets problematic. So, it's one of those things. I like Nick Sirianni. I really wish the Eagles well against the Chiefs. But you couldn't pick a more just disastrous matchup for Super Bowl. Like, both teams are very, very unlikable. Especially for me, and probably you guys too. Obviously being in Jersey and New York. Probably not the biggest Philly.
You know,
fans.
there's a quite a big of quite a big like crowd that is basically rooting for the Eagles just because of Barkley. And I'm not even like kidding. Like I've asked, like, how the hell can you root, for your division rival? And all the same answers, like, fuck this team. Like, at least I want to see this guy that I truly like rooted for get a ring. So I mean, like, me personally, I don't really have like that much of a rooting interest in either the Jets or the Giants. So it's not like I'm all like emotional rooting for Saquon, but it is pretty interesting. And Josh, you're right. I saw a meme a couple days ago where it showed the survey of who are you rooting for in Super Bowl back when Nick Foles and the Tom Brady Patriots went. And it was like 48 states, Eagles, 2 states, Patriots.
Yeah.
Same for that AFC Championship where it was like 47 states, Kansas City, and then 3 Patriots. So you live long enough to see yourself a villain. I think that's true. Now that Eagles and KC are surviving, so we'll see. It should be. I do think at the end of the day, those are the 2 best teams. All season, despite the Lions having the number 1 seed in the NFC. So.
Okay. Well, we'll come back Saturday night, do another show after Tennessee and Florida, convene, and we'll see what happens. Again, keeping the cup on. Didn't expect this. I guess 2.5 weeks ago to shake out the way it's kind of unfolded here for us in the thick of conference play, but here we are, 500. And kind of looking for our identity, just kind of like Beetlejuice, just kind of hanging around,
Joe, do you have questions for us? Looks like he's
blowing the comments up.
Yeah, he's asking for Q&A time.
Don't feed into that. don't feed into this nonsense. Don't feed into it. Andy does enjoy a good Gator chomp, man. I will tell you that's his favorite taunt to Gator fans. I mean, me and him have been to a million Gator games, and that's his favorite thing to do. Right or wrong, Andy, you like a good Gator chomp?
I mean, look, outside of my natural like obligation to hate the Florida Gators, I will say the times that I've been to Gainesville, I've had a great time. Maybe not great time in terms of the.
We're not going to glaze up Gainesville, Andy. We're not doing that. We're not glazing Gainesville tonight.
I've had a great time in terms of the fan experience. So I hold them a little bit more dearer than some of the other SEC fans. I went and had an absolute shitty time.
Look, it's because Josh Joseph, gentleman and scholar, he showed us a good time. The last time me and Andrew went down there together, he was there in grad school. But come on now, who is most likely to get beat up in Gainesville? Who is least likely to win a fight?
Probably me, because I don't get in fights anymore. I'm too old. I have too much writing. I stopped fighting after like my teenage years, so I just avoid it anytime I can.
Who needs to fight unless you're really provoked? Who do you consider the cooler of you 3?
Oh, Josh is definitely the coolest.
He's trying to sow division. Look at him trying to sow division.
Who's the smartest? Probably
Andrew's definitely the smartest. Yeah, followed by Naveen, then me.
Yeah, I don't know. Who has the highest ACT score?
Definitely Andrew Kim.
I don't know.
What'd you get? What'd you get, Naveen?
I got a 36.
Oh, well then, yeah, you beat Andy.
I was like, holy fuck. It's like ACT isn't a thing in New Jersey.
Yeah, perfect score,
I was like,
bro.
wow, I can take this test with science in it. I was like, oh god. It's like SAT not as good as ATT. But
who was loudest at a game? Oh man. Sometimes that's debatable. No, sometimes it's this guy. Sometimes it's this guy. It depends on how many alcoholic beverages have been consumed. The quickest.
It's very true.
Yes, perfect score. That's what a 36 is, Joe. Joe can't. Joe can't spell ACT, so it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Not smart enough to go to UF. Maybe I was smart enough to not go to UF.
Yeah. Ooh, dang. Hit him with that.
I don't know. Joe's a good guy. I met him a couple weeks ago in our last reaction. Last time we got smoked by 30. So, Joe.
Yeah, I don't think coming at a couple of NYU grads with the academics is the right way to do it.
Yeah, I would not try to hype against like Asian kids in text taking. Yeah. Every other category, you could probably beat us in. Math,
you could make fun of us for being nerds, or getting dunked on out in the basketball courts, or whatever. Yeah, sure, but you don't want to come at us with the academics, bro. I'm gonna promise you that. So
that's funny.
Get your Ben Shelton celebration. Boom,
boom. Yeah,
that's it, bro.
All right, we're gonna call it for today. Joe, come back for the reaction on Saturday.
Please do join. Unlikely that you're gonna join us live. Just be unrealistic, but at least stay in the comments section for us.
All right. Well, anyway, Joe, we'll put that to the test on Saturday, bro. Good luck to your Gators. Not really. But hey, I appreciate we had a lot of chat going on tonight. I really appreciate all the engagement. Do more of that. Please like, subscribe, share.
If the Gators beat Tennessee by where should I set the line at? Like let's say double digits. Because it's at Tennessee, right? So if Gators beat Tennessee by double digits, I will bring out my swamp poster live for the reaction, Joe.
Yeah, let us know, man. We'd love to I guess to cross stream. I guess that would be a way to put that, right? So, all right. So for Lucky Top Sports, I'm Josh. He's Naveen. He's Andrew. The three amigos were back tonight. It's been a while, but it was a lot of fun. I appreciate all the ones that tuned in. Vols fall to the Cats tonight. Hopefully we bounce back. I think we'll shake back against the Gators. But until then, Saturday night, fellas, go Big Orange.